ClaretsTV speaking to Chelmsford City manager Robbie Simpson after the late draw here at St Albans. What did you make of that game, Robbie?
For the first 25 minutes, I thought we were excellent. I thought we were brilliant with the ball, and then without it I thought we were superb, and we made them go long early, and then we mopped it up, and we had real sustained attacks and sustained possession. The decision making in the final third was off all night, really. We should have had 2 or 3 goals in that first period. We had the ball in the net a couple of times, and I think one of them is definitely contentious. I would love to see that back, and it was a great bit of football as well with Osman's goal. That was, I think, because Freddie plays it early, so unless Osman's stood offside to begin with in the passage, which I won't be very happy if he was, then yeah, it's hard to tell. But that first 25 minutes we were brilliant, and then we allowed them back into the game, and without the ball we allowed them back into the game, and they built up a rhythm. Didn't really hurt us too much in that first half, but we allowed them to build up a rhythm of what we know they like to do, which is pass and move the football and be really fluid. We didn't stop them with the ball early enough, and we didn't make them go long early enough. We allowed them to get a rhythm in the game, and we struggled. We suffered for the rest of that first half. It was a bad decision. Well, it was us actually winning the ball back and not securing the football when we won it back. We gave it away far too cheaply, and then really poor decision making from us defensively in the back line, which allowed Sean Jeffers to run off the back. And then it was a really good cross from Sean, and the desire of their winger to get on the end of it and score was brilliant from them. And I'm not sure once it got to that moment we could have done too much, because it was really quick and a really good finish with great desire. Second half we couldn't get going again. We had spells and moments with the ball without really looking too threatening, but we allowed them to dictate the majority of that second half, and then we flirted with attacks rather than us having control of the game. We weren't in control of the game. Certainly we weren't in control without the ball, which I like to think my teams are. Without the ball they're still in control. We weren't at all. But we had to, on the side, it was tough really, because we had to think whether we were going to get that back or not, or whether we wanted it to be an end-to-end game. And the later it goes on, the more inclined we are for it to be end-to-end, and we don't mind if we lose 2 if we get 1. And the game looked dead and buried as a 1-0, but those lads kept going. They really did. They kept going right to the end. And Ozzy, who I thought was outstanding in the first half, pretty non-existent in the second, but he had a big existence right at the end. And let's not forget of the effort we had to do on Saturday, not only with the journey and then the journey back, but the game itself on Saturday. For us to be 2-0 down, the effort it took for us to get back in that game and get a point, and then try and go on and win it, even in the last 10 minutes, took a hell of a lot out of these players. That's why I was really pleased and maybe a bit surprised in the first 25 how at it we were. But it's understandable that our levels weren't quite there. We were tired physically and tired mentally. Our reading of the game in certain scenarios was off apart by that first 25 minutes. But yeah, we've come back again and taken something, and shows great character again. Great character. We needed to score in that first period. We did tonight, with them being fresh, having had the Saturday off. How dominant we were in that first 25. We needed to score, and actually then score again, and try and put the game to bed early, and we didn't. We allowed them to get a rhythm in the game. They went ahead, and we kept going. We knew with it being end to end we were going to concede chances, and we had to back our keeper, we had to back our defenders with last-ditch tackles, and then we had to hope that one would fall for us. But yeah, a lot of tired bodies. I think Cameron ended the game. We played the last 10 minutes with a pulled hamstring, Cameron, so they've given everything again, the players. I know, and I was on the side trying to drive them forward, thinking maybe they'd given up. Their body language and the effort they were putting in, I wanted us to give more, but I understand that I've been a player when you've gone to a long away trip and had a game like that and come here. They might have looked like they weren't running as hard as possible, but they were, and physically you can see at the end of the game with the amount of sort of strains and tightness the players have got, they've given everything and they've taken a point home.
I suppose St Albans in that second half, Sean Jeffers as a one-on-one, and they have a few other chances that they've put wide or over, and I suppose as long as it stays 1-0, that was what we were hoping for. I mean, Freddie almost scores before that, yeah, which we probably should have scored, and then come up with a last-minute equaliser. So it just shows you that they didn't put it to bed, and we made them pay for it.
Yeah. We left ourselves 1v1 at the back a couple of times, trying to create overloads in the opposite half because we were losing and we had to chase the game. So, like I say, we always knew that they might get past us and create those opportunities for themselves, and we had to back ourselves to make last-ditch tackles or them to miss the target, which they did do. It was our mistake that put Jeffers through. We passed it straight to him, and then there was a couple of other moments where our indecision or poor decisions were really costly, and almost really costly, but thankfully they weren't, and thankfully we stayed in the game and were able to get a point in the end.
And then that last-minute goal, I mean, Osman said it was probably the worst free kick he's taken, and then one of the best strikes he's had. I thought he just took all this frustration out of the previous 98 minutes on the ball there, and what a strike.
Yeah. Do you know what? It was the one moment that I can remember in the second half where the instinct of what's going to happen next, the player had it. Like Osman had it. He knew it was a poor free kick, but instinctively he knew where that defender might head it, and he got onto the loose ball. And I didn't think there was enough of that tonight. Individually, our football instinct about what might happen next was really poor, which meant we were really reactive. And against a good footballing team, when you're that half a yard too slow because you're reacting and you're not anticipating or have that instinct of where the ball might drop or what might happen next, you can get punished, and you'll run a hell of a lot because of it. So in that moment, Ozzy knew he took a poor free kick. He knew that the defender was going to head it, and he was on the move, anticipating where that ball might drop, and the finish is superb. The control on the finish was brilliant, and like you say, we should have scored before that. You know, Jordan's header that the keeper saved, I feel like we should score that. And then the rebound, Calvin's shot, it was actually a poor shot really, so maybe Freddie was surprised that the keeper spilled it, but when it happens we have to score that. And it's like in the first half, just the decision making and the final bit of detail in that final third in the first half, we should have scored, and should have scored a couple really. So disappointing, but yeah, we're obviously happy to score another last minute goal coming back from behind. It shows something, that there's something in the squad, but we have to get back to the rhythm that we were in that period where we won 6 in a row. We have to try and find that rhythm again.
And after a long week travelling, you're going to get back to Melbourne on Saturday, but it won't be an easy game against Dorking.
Yeah, the league favourites before the season started. I probably don't think it's any different now. I think they're still the league favourites. So it's going to be a real good test for our group. But we're at home. We've been really good at home for the majority of games this season, but all of them bar one really. And I think that was a Salisbury game. I don't think it was a Farnborough game. I think we were pretty decent against Farnborough and deserving of at least a point in that game. The fans have been absolutely incredible. The fans down at Torquay were insanely good, helped us get a point, and tonight the same. They stayed, all of them stayed right to the very end, because they maybe felt it. What happened on Saturday could happen again, and they helped us achieve it. They really did, and it was brilliant for the players to get clapped off in the end. And let's make Melbourne Park on Saturday really vibrant, really loud, really intimidating, because we're certainly going to need them on Saturday after the week we've had and the opposition we're playing.
Okay, well done tonight, Robbie, and we'll see you on Saturday at Melbourne.
Thank you.